Welcome back everyone. In this video, let's get started with asynchronous actions. Up until now, we have had a look at synchronous actions. As soon as an action was dispatched, the state was immediately updated. If you dispatch the cake ordered action, the number of cakes was right away decremented by 1. And the same goes with ice cream ordered action as well. Now this works perfectly fine for our cake and ice cream shop example. However, you will eventually build applications where things happen in an asynchronous way. For example, you will make asynchronous API calls to fetch data from an endpoint and use that data in your application. Before we dive into the code on async actions, let us first understand what we need to accomplish. The application we are going to build will fetch a list of users from an API endpoint and stores it in the Redux store. Let's try to get an idea of how our state is going to look like, what are the different actions, and how the reducer would work. Once that is clear, let's write the code. First, let's talk about the state of our application. Typically, with data fetching, we go with 3 properties for the state object. The first property is a loading flag, which indicates whether the data is currently being fetched or not. If you have an application with UI, this flag would help you display a loading spinner in your component. The next property we would have is the data itself. The data in our example is the list of users. The initial state though, we would have an empty array as no users have been loaded yet. The final property is an error message. Now our API request might fail for some reason. In that scenario, instead of getting back the data, we get an error which we store in the error property. This message again can be used to display the error to the user if your application has a UI. So that is our state object. Next, let's talk about the actions. We're going to have 3 actions in our application. The first one describes a list of users have been requested from the API endpoint. The action type would be fetch users requested. The second and third actions are dependent on the first one. If the data was fetched successfully, we have an action with the type fetch users succeeded. If there was an error when fetching the data, we have an action with type fetch users failed. So we have 3 actions. Finally, the reducer. If action type is fetch users requested, we basically set loading to true. If action type is fetch users succeeded, we set loading to false and users to the data returned from the API. If action type is fetch users failed, we set loading to false and error to the error returned by the API. And that is pretty much our application. So with these points in mind, let's go back to our editor and implement the code. For this new application, I'm going to create a new file called asyncactions.js. Within this file, we need to define 3 things: the state, the actions, and the reducer. Let us first start with the state. The state is going to be an object with 3 properties as we have already discussed. So const initial state is an object where we set loading to false, users to an empty array, error to an empty string. Next, we have the actions. Let's begin by declaring the constants for the action types. I'm going to copy paste the 3 constants: fetch users requested, fetch users succeeded, and fetch users failed. Next, let's define the action creators. The first one is to make a request to fetch the data. So const fetch user's request is a function that returns an object with type fetch users requested. The second one is to store the list of users if the request was successful. So const fetch users success. This receives users as a parameter. We return an object where type is fetch users succeeded and payload is users. The final one is to store the error message if the request failed. So const fetch users failure receives an error. Return an object where the type is fetch users failed and payload is the error. Alright, next let's define our reducer function. Const reducer is equal to an arrow function, and the function receives two parameters, state and action. The initial value for state is going to be initial state, and within the function body we add a switch statement. The switch expression is action.type. We're going to handle three cases. Fetch users requested is the first case, where we are going to return a new object, spread the existing state, and set loading to true. Similarly, case fetch users succeeded, where we return a new object, set loading to false, users to action.payload, and error to an empty string. Finally, case fetch users failed, return a new object where loading is false, users is an empty array, and error is action.payload. The final step is to create our Redux store. So at the top, const redux is equal to require redux, and const create store is equal to redux.createStore. At the bottom, const store is equal to create store. We pass in the reducer function. And that pretty much completes our setup to understand async actions. What is left now is to make an API call and dispatch the appropriate actions we have in our application. Let's see how to proceed with that in the next video.